So let me start class by a small prayer. So can we start praying? Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuram Tamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasitadi Satarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone once again. So do you guys remember previous class? I know everybody has only retreat in their mind. So let's go back to our previous class. So anybody remember anything, just one thing from previous class? Any one word from the previous class? Yes, Prabhu.
14 words.
Wow, amazing, 14 words, yes. Anything else?
Suffering.
Suffering. How many kinds of suffering? What are they?
From the demigods, from the body, and from the...
Can anybody name them?
Adhyatmic.
Wow.
Devi.
Adidayvik. Amazing. So it seems like everybody is very intelligent here. So let's go to our today's class. So we also learned about in previous class, we should be questioning about our life, right? We learned about Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So it's about questioning our life. So do you guys have any question regarding your life every day on basis? Anybody, any questions regarding our life? It can be anything. You can just throw any question, just which comes in your mind. For me, why do I need to go everyday work? Like that, you can say why do I have to be in this world? Any question, which comes in your mind. Any questions?
For me, what is all happening? In my life, just why it is happening?
So many things.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Why do we go through certain mood fluctuations? Like your relationship, our mood. Sometimes it's very happy.
Sometimes
sad.
Okay, you mean the mood changes, and sometimes it's very sad, sometimes it's very happy. Yeah, we go through this so many questions, right? Any other questions? Sorry, welcome, Hatasi. So we are just having, I'm just asking them, do you have any questions regarding life? Every day we have so many questions regarding our life, why we are here, what is the purpose, like that. Do you have any questions? You can just say any questions on your mind, which goes on your day. Prabhu, you?
Why is it so hard to come back to the Godhead?
Why it's so hard to go back to Godhead? Okay, there's so many questions we go through, right? The first question might be what is the purpose of our life? So I used to question myself why every day feels like same? I'm doing same thing every day. So that was the question only hit my mind before Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, I never up to what is the purpose of the life? So there are so many questions which is already answered by Krishna. I think there's any question which Krishna has an answer. And Bhagavad Gita is there where Krishna has answered all the questions, why there is suffering, why there is mood changing, why there is happiness, sadness, how to deal with it, and why this everything is happening. As you said, Krishna has answer for everything, right? So the thing is, we should be reading Bhagavad Gita, then we can know what Krishna wants to tell us. So today's we're going to talk about we're gonna see one question Arjuna has asked to Krishna, so we can relate or not. So many questions has been asked by Arjuna, right, to Krishna. But let's see this question, can we relate this question or not? So this is we are reading today chapter 3. It's Karma Yoga. So what does karma comes in your mind when we talk about karma?
Work.
Okay.
Shift.
And
Shift.
sift. Wow, welcome Prabhu. You just came, right?
Yeah.
When you enter, you're answering. Such a great. So, okay. Like karma means, as you say, it's an action. Sorry, my handwriting is a bit bad. And yoga means, anybody want to answer?
Union.
Union. It means connect, right? Union means connect. So what does Krishna is saying to Arjun? Like Arjun, he doesn't want to fight. He just want to skip the battle because he's saying, they are my family. What's the point of killing them? Even Krishna showed them why you have to kill, because the other side was doing some adharma. That's why Krishna told him to kill. But he was like, I know they have done something wrong, but even though I want to step back, Arjuna is saying, I want to step back because I don't want to take the grudges, like I don't want to be like a killer of my own family, you know. But Krishna is saying, don't worry too much. You just do your work, you just do your action, but connect it with the Lord. Means he's giving him knowledge of karma yoga, means do your action, but connect it with the Supreme Lord. So he's saying, because Arjuna is bewildered, just to say pacify him, he's giving this away, karma yoga. So by your action you can connect to Krishna, you can connect your everything to Krishna. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna, and he's also saying to us, every action can be connected to Krishna. Like suppose we work, our work can be spiritual, you know. Everything can be spiritual. If you're a businessman, you can be a businessman in a spiritual way. You can connect everything to your Lord. Like if you're a mother, you can be a spiritual mother. If you're a husband, you can be a spiritual husband, you know. So everything is, we can connect to Krishna. Just the idea is we don't know about, you know, Krishna has given this knowledge, this way, how can we connect to him? So spiritual path is not about, you know, walking away from everything or renouncing everything, because people have this kind of thoughts. Whenever they heard about spirituality, they think it's about walking away, it's about you're giving your duty, you're like leaving everything, but it's about accepting everything, but not being affected by the world. What we do is accept, but we get affected by world and we be lost in this world, you know. But the thing is, we need to be in this world, you know, accept this world, be in this world, but we shouldn't be affected. How? But we should connect everything to Krishna, as Krishna is giving away karma yoga, like, you know, connect everything to me. So it's very easy to say, yeah, connect everything to God, but there's so many things to do in life. Sometimes there's temptation, right? Do you guys have temptation? Like temptation means a desire to have something, to enjoy something. We all do have that temptation, right? I want to enjoy this, I want to eat this. There's so many temptation we go through daily basis, and it's easy to say everything connect to Krishna, your action connect to Krishna, but there is temptation which is very hard to deal in day-to-day life. That's what's stopping us, that's what is hard for us, because we go through temptation every day. Like, you know, there are different temptation. And hang on. Sorry. So let's go to like chapter 3.37. Sorry, my handwriting. 3.37. Can we all of us go to 3.37 and let's see one of the question Arjuna has asked to Krishna. Can we relate to that question in our daily basis of life or not? 3.37.
I think it's 6.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 36. 36. Okay. Can everyone repeat with me when I say the verse? Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Athakena prayukto mam. Yam
Athakena prayukto yam.
Papam charati purushaha.
Papam charati purushaha.
Anichan api varshneyaha.
Anichan api varshneyaha.
Balad iva niyojitaha. So let's see what Arjuna is asking in translation. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? So Vrishni, Krishna has a very millions of names, as we know. So it's one of the Krishna's name. He's saying, oh Krishna, what is one impelled to do sinful acts, even unwillingly? Can we relate this? What Arjuna is saying, like in our life, day-to-day life, knowingly we commit so many sin, right? We know it's wrong, we know it's a bad thing, but even though we end up doing that bad thing, and Arjuna is asking why it feels like somebody is forcing us to do something wrong, which is sinful. So can you give me any example, like which you think like even it's wrong, but you feel like doing it, you do it, you end up doing it?
Not doing chanting attentively.
Okay, anything else?
Meat eating.
Yeah, meat eating, yeah. Any addiction, like, which is wrong, but we end up doing it. We know it's wrong, like, yeah, meat eating. Scrolling phone, like social media, right? It's very addictive nowadays.
Talking mundane things.
Sleeping till 9 a.m. in the weekends.
Sleeping till 9 a.m. It's like anything else? Intoxication is the biggest addiction. Smoking, like drug, alcohol, right? These are the very, very, biggest addiction in this world. Like, we know, the people know that it's wrong. Smokers, they know it's gonna kill them, right? But they end up smoking. The alcoholic, they know it's gonna harm them. They know they're going to get some disease. It's gonna, affect their health, even though knowingly they're committing sin. We knowingly commit so many sin in our life. So Krishna is what does Krishna answer? Let's see. Like Arjuna is asking, right? Like what is that reason, like we are compelled to do sinful act? And Krishna, what is Krishna answering? What do you think? What is our biggest enemy? Mind, lust, okay. Yeah, lust and mind, right? In our mind there is lust, always lust, So lust is the biggest enemy. Like Krishna is saying, Supreme Lord is saying, lust is the biggest enemy of human, eternal enemy. So we can feel that, right? When there is how lust comes. So like everyone us has love in our heart. It's natural, right, to have a love for somebody. But the object of love, whom do you think object of love is? It's Krishna. So object of love is Krishna, and if we don't have the object of love in our heart, and if we don't love the object of love, he is the object of love, he is meant to be loved, he is the object of love. So when we don't have him, there comes lust. When we try to disconnect our loving relation with the Supreme Lord, are you getting me? When you're trying to disconnect a loving relation, you have a relation with Krishna because he is the object of love. Everybody have love in their heart for Krishna, but we don't know. Before coming to Krishna conscious, we didn't know that we had a love for Krishna. But after coming to Krishna conscious, we actually been knowing that, we have little love for Krishna, right? So the object of love is Krishna, even knowingly or unknowingly. So when we try to disconnect ourselves from the relation to the Supreme Lord, there comes emptiness, and that emptiness will fill our heart with the lust. When there is emptiness, suppose there is emptiness in my heart, and I want to exploit so many things, I want to enjoy, because there's nothing in my heart, right? So I want something to grab, if I don't have something, if I don't have anyone, I just want something, to be busy on something. So I try to exploit everything. Like I try to go club because there is emptiness in my heart. So I try different things, like trying smoking. Okay, this might fill my heart. This might give me happiness. This might give me satisfaction. So because we don't have the love for Krishna and our heart is empty, and there comes lust. When our heart is empty, then only it comes lust. And when our heart is like there is lust, we try to exploit and enjoy. We try to enjoy people, we try to enjoy situation, we try to enjoy things. It means we try to enjoy somebody, we try to enjoy some object like phone. We are addicted to phone, or we are addicted to some person, or we are addicted to some places, we try to find happiness, but that's not gonna give us ultimate happiness. We are still lusty. Because of lust, we try to only enjoy, we try everything which doesn't give us happiness. So in this world, like we say, we both are together, we love each other, but love is like, when you have love for Krishna, then you can love each and everyone. That's the point. Because love of object is Krishna. Even if you have somebody in your life whom you love, you might say it love, but it's a lust, because you want something from the other person. Either you want to enjoy that person, or either you want to take some benefit from that person. So, but when you have the object of love in your heart, then you can love the other person selflessly, because you know the goal, you know the purpose, and you will be like, we are in the same journey, we will help each other. So that will be a love. But without love of object, we are just saying it's a lust. When you say I love you to someone or something, it's a lust. It's a straight lust if you don't have love for the Krishna or the supreme object. So the whole point is to develop a loving relation with Krishna, loving relation with the object of love. That's the only way which we can get rid of lust, because he is the object of love. Sorry. And that's the reason why we always have temptation, because our heart is vacuum. It's full of vacuum because we don't have love. We don't have love of object. We think we have love for so many people, but actually it's only you want to enjoy, only you want somebody in your life to enjoy. That's it. That's not love. We are just in illusion, delusion, So that's why our heart is vacuum, and there comes temptation. You want to do this, you want to do this. There's a strong desire to want this, It can be things, it can be object, it can be people, any obsession. So let's see how does, lust come, and where does the lust take us. I'll just rub this. As Krishna said, lust is the biggest enemy of us, right? We can also feel it. Because of lust, there's so much, there comes temptation, and we are lacking in our spiritual journey. It's very hard to on daily basis of temptation, because we still have lust, right? So let's see what lust take us. What comes after lust? Is the lust the end? Is the lust the only worst, or is there anything worse than that, right? So there come contemplation. Contemplation means to think, okay? So first you contemplate something, and then you get attachment, and then you get lust, and then you get anger, and then you get illusion, and then you get bewilderment of memory, and then you get loss of intelligence. So this is what Krishna is talking in chapter 2. I'm just elaborating it. And then fall down. So this happens when, how does the lust comes, and what after lust comes? So let's go. Contemplate means to think something. Either it can be object, as I previously told, or it can be a person or anything or situation or a place. And attachment means to get, attached, very deeply attached. And lust means, we know it's obsession, to get obsessed on something. And that lust, after that lust, it comes to anger. After anger, it comes to illusion, like, everything will be blank in your life. You will feel like, oh, that's it. Now I can't live without these things like this. Then it will come the bewilder of memory, like whatever knowledge you've been acquiring from your spiritual master, your college, your anything. It can be your family, anything you have been acquiring. Your memory will be bewildered, like, you can't be able to think because of all these things, because you, after attachment, lust, anger, illusion, and now you're in illusion, you can't even think properly, you can't even remember everything. And if you have bewilderment in your memory, then definitely there will be loss of intelligence. You can't, because memory is best. Intelligence is best on memory. How long your memory is good, you can remember. Then comes knowledge, right? Then your intelligence works, and at the end it's fall down. So let me give an example. Contemplation. If you see a beautiful girl, let's take an example of a beautiful girl, or you can even take any object like a Samsung 25 Ultra. It's beautiful. We can take that. Okay, let's take a beautiful girl. First, you start contemplate. Or a beautiful or a handsome guy. You first think about that girl, right? You keep on thinking like, how beautiful is she? What if I get married with her? I will have a happy life. You keep on thinking about her, and then it comes attachments. It happens to us in daily basis, like we just like feeling like, oh, what's this? But it happens with us every day. And there comes attachment. You get attached to that thoughts. And after attachment, it comes lust. Lust means you're obsessed with it. Like, I want it. I want that. I can't be without it. And then comes anger. Like, how does the anger come? If lust is fulfilled, then there will be a greed. You want more and more. If you got that girl, you got married, tomorrow you will see another beautiful girl and you want her as well. So that's a greed. Or you just brought a new phone, either you brought a Samsung and you see tomorrow iPhone, you want to get that phone. Or either you brought a beautiful car today, but you want to get another beautiful car tomorrow. So greed, it's keep on increasing. So lust, even it's fulfilled, it will be greed. And if it's not fulfilled, unfulfilled, then it will come anger. Then it comes anger. Then you will burst out. You feel like, why didn't I get it? And then come illusion. You will put all your pain in one thing, and you feel like, if I didn't get this, like, I don't have any reason to live. It had happened when I was preparing this. I was thinking about myself before Krishna conscious. Like, I was going through so many things, like some problems in my life, anxiety. Anxiety, I was going to anxiety, and I was thinking like contemplation. I was like contemplating on a person, or maybe I don't want to say, but on a person or a thing. Then I started an attachment, and then it became a lust. I was obsessed with it, and then it came like when I got it, I was like, there was a greed to have more, and when it was unfulfilled, like it burst out in anger. Why did it happen to me? And then there was illusion. Like I was putting all my faith in one person or in one thing, and then I was like in illusion. I have nothing. I was like, that's it, my life is done. And then bewilder of memory, whatever knowledge, even though I was not acquiring spiritual knowledge, I had a material knowledge, right? Even being a material person, what's right, wrong. So at that time, I didn't have any knowledge of what's wrong, right, loss of intelligence. I couldn't make any decision. And there comes a fall down, like I was literally broke, So when I was making this, I was literally remembering myself, like how I went through. So like that, it comes like that, like this. So lust is the biggest enemy of ours. So from lust it comes anger. From anger, illusion, bewilderment of memory, lust of intelligence. And fall down means you will repeat the same mistake again and again. So we don't want to go thrill here. When you see something, you can stop at the point. Today I was coming back from work and I saw a beautiful home and my mind was contemplating. I was like, oh, I wish I could buy this house and I could do Harikatha in this. And I was like, okay, stop it. Like, you don't have that much of money. In future, maybe if Krishna wants. And then I stopped. If I were like just thinking about that home, I really want, then it could happen like lust, anger, illusion. I'd be like mad. Like people have lust in so many things. Like they are so lusty in like their work, money, they do anything for their money and they forget about everything. So we have seen so many examples in our Shastra, like how because of lust, so many great personalities have fallen down. So our Shastra is the example why lust is the biggest enemy. So as we know the famous story of Azamil, like I think you guys have heard many times. Have you?
Maybe not everyone.
Have you? Okay. So let me repeat again because it's a very famous story. So there was a Brahmana boy, Brahmana boy. He was born in a Brahmana family and he was very, very rich. He was very, very, into his religion, dharma. He was a man of a dharma. And one day he was going to a forest and he saw a prostitute woman embracing the other man. And at that time, he was a Brahmana, He knew his purpose of life. He was a great devotee of Narayan, Supreme Lord. He knew his purpose, but even there, the lust is so powerful, Even the Brahmana who knows everything about his life, he got bewildered. He started contemplating as soon as he saw the lady, Our mind is like that, Even we want to, think good about everyone. As soon as we see somebody, our mind starts talking about that person, judging, contemplating, thinking about something. Does it happen? It does happen, right? So he started contemplating. If he could stop at that point, if the thoughts come at his mind and he could say like, no, I have a bigger goal. I have to please Supreme Lord. If he could had a stop at the moment, when he contemplated, he could just ignore that thought, The mind is like that. It keeps on thinking because in our mind there's lust. So it keeps on thinking, But then he got attached because he kept on thinking and thinking. And then it came to lust. He was obsessed with it and he wanted it. And then what he did? He left his family. He was a married guy. He was a Brahmin, but he left his wife and he went with that prostitute woman because of lust. And he went to illusion, bewilderment of memory. Where was his all sastric knowledge gone? Because he was a Brahmana. Being a Brahman, he knows every knowledge of Shastra. He was supposed to save the whole world giving knowledge. He had knowledge, right? Because of lust and anger, like he destroyed his all memory and he got loss of his intelligence. His intelligence was not working because if his memory is bewildered, how can you get some knowledge? The memory, in our memory there's everything we have acquired, right? So loss of intelligence means everything he acquired from his spiritual master or his family or Shastra, everything was lost. And then comes fall down. And he had a fall down in bhakti. He, being a Brahman, having fall down because of lust, anger, and because of that prostitute lady, he spent his life with her. Even though he didn't realize, after spending whole his life, he didn't realize at the end of his death. When he was about to die, he had one son named Narayan. Fortunately, he named his son Narayan. And then while he was about to die, when we are about to die or when we have some problem, we call our mom, dad, right? If you're in trouble, if your back is paining or something is attacking you, you call like mom, dad, or your sister name. Just like that, he was calling, he was calling his son name. Narayan. And at that time, Yamduta came to take him because he was about to die. He was about to leave his body and he was about to go back to Yamraj. So Yamraj came to take him because Yamraj has the list. Even being a Brahmana, he has done thousands of sins. He didn't even realize whole his life. And when the Yamraj came, Vishnu Duda also came at the same time. So why did Vishnu Duda came? Because Vishnu Duda was saying he called the name of our Lord, Narayan. So in Bhagavad Gita there is a verse, when we are dying, the last thought, whatever we have, we will go back to, we will be that person, or we will go back to that place. So Krishna says, if you remember me while the time of death, then only you'll come back to me. So the whole point was to remember Krishna, and he did that. But he didn't did it eventually, by knowingly. He did it because he was calling his son randomly. But we can see it's the mercy of Lord. And then the Azamil could see, the Brahmana boy could see the conversation between the Yamraj and Vishnu Dut. In front of his eyes, they were about discussing, Yamraj was saying, we are going to take him because he have done so many sins. But the Vishnu Dut was saying, no, you can't take because he has taken the Lord name at the end of his death, and we are supposed to take him back to Krishna, and then at that time, and then Yamraj and Vishnu Duta disappeared, and he didn't leave his body, the guy like Azamil, and then he realized at that moment, after spending his entire life with that prostitute woman, at the end when he saw his Vishnu Dutas, then he realized, my Lord, I've forgotten you whole my life, and you haven't forgotten me, and then he came back to his knowledge and his memory of Shastra and how much Krishna loves him. And then after that he went back to Krishna. After that he realized and then went back to Krishna. So I just wanted to give an example how lust can break us, make us fall down in bhakti and in anything, or spiritual progress also lust can destroy us. Material progress also lust can destroy us. So there is also another example in Shastra about, we can also take about the Ramayana, where Ravan was so had so much lust for Sita, he wanted to kidnap her, he wanted to take her. So he also started contemplating. He also went through the same process: attachment, lust, anger, illusion. He was also a very learned person. He was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Don't you know, he also know every Shastra knowledge. He was an exalted personality, but because of lust, he forgot that he is not supposed to kidnap a woman, even who married woman. He is not supposed to see a married woman. But he ended up taking Sita, and at the end, what he had, he was killed by Lord Ram. So there are so many examples in our Shastra where we can see everyone has been fall down. And there is one example of Rishi Vishwamitra. So he was also a yogi. He was doing a tapasya. He was doing a tapasya, but demigod, seeing that tapasya, sent apsara in front of him just to test him. He's doing so much tapasya, let's check him how much deeper is his tapasya. And when the demigod sent the apsara, he was bewildered by her beauty, her charm. So lust is very dangerous. Even a yogi who will be meditating for so many years, they get bewildered. Just think of us, we are very conditioned, so we are not even yogi, and lust can take us where, it can just degrade us. So at first place we should try to not contemplate much, because it will take us into lust, anger, and this is the worst enemy. So that's about the lust, and I'll just drop this and let's go to the So, but being a human, we always have a desire, right? We always have desire to do something. But what can we do is we can desire for Krishna, We know we have desire, but as I said before, we can make it spiritual, right? Even if you want to be a musician, you can be a musician for Krishna, right? And even if you want to be a dancer, you can be a dancer for Krishna. So as like that, we can desire everything for Krishna and make it spiritual, And like we should think like we should think higher. Like we should be thinking, I need to achieve something for Krishna. Like there comes temptation, definitely there is temptation. We want to do something wrong, something sinful, but we should think like we need to achieve something bigger for Krishna, just like Prabhupada did. Like he had so many things in his life. He had a beautiful wife, he has a son, daughter, he had a business, he had a holy name, he had a Krishna in his heart, he had a Vrindavan Dham, he had achieved everything. But even though he wanted to achieve something for Krishna, that's why he left India and went to US, right? His goal was bigger. His goal was to achieve for Krishna, not for him, because he has everything. He has Krishna, holy name, Vrindavan Dham. He is the richest person, right? So even though his goal was bigger, so I think we should also make our goal bigger. When the temptation comes, we should think like, I have a bigger goal to please my Lord, who is the object of love. Eventually we're searching for love, right? And if Krishna is there, he's saying he will love us. He is the object of love. And when we love Krishna, we can feel like, he really loves us. Like, and then what do we need else? But definitely there is temptation. But we can try like, doing, thinking bigger. So, I was just listening to Maharaj's class, and he was mentioning His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj, Swami Maharaj, and he was saying not try to enjoy the immediate, instead wait and develop deeper connection with Lord and feel our heart with the Supreme. What he's trying to say is when temptation comes, don't try to enjoy immediately. Because when temptation come, why temptation come? Because there is emptiness and there is lust. But you wait for the moment and develop a deeper connection with the Lord, and then you can fill your heart with love for Krishna, and then you can fill your heart with love for Krishna, and there lust will go away. When you develop love for Krishna, then lust will go away. It's not a instant process, it's a gradual process. If we say I love Krishna, I don't like really love Krishna like in that way, like we are not in that level of Krishna prem, but we want that, right? So we can wait and develop deeper connection. Only way to overcome lust is to develop love for Lord. To develop love, you have to control your lust. And how do we control lust? Like there's so much temptation, right? As we were talking about. So how do we overcome temptation? I have just few points, and then I'm in, and we are over. First one is conviction. So if you are doing a degree of, IT, it's a 3 years degree. And you're going to be convinced, right? 3 years, I'm not going to do anything, because you have a higher goal, because you want a degree. Even your friend says, let's go 5 months vacation, okay. And you will be saying, I can't go because I have 3 years degree, I can't miss my class. You're really convinced, right? Because you have paid money, you have to invest, you have to be something in your career. You are convinced for that. So you say that I won't go because I'm convinced. Like that, when temptation comes, we should be convinced for Krishna. Are we really convinced to develop connection with Krishna? So we should be convinced for Krishna. We should be higher goal, just like I want to serve Krishna, I want to do service for Krishna. So that's our goal. So we should be convinced, then we can overcome our lust. And the next one is open. Open means we need to have somebody in our life whom we can share everything. One friend, either it can be your partner, it can be your best friend, either it can be your mentors, or anyone. One person you can share each and everything, your spiritual success, your material success, your material distress, your financial problem, anything. One person should be there, to share you. When you are having a temptation, when you say to your friend, they might help you, let's do something else. If you're tempting for this, then let's try this, it will be more fun. If they will say in a good way, nice things, they can help us, right? So if we have one friend, they will save us. So the next one is safety. If you're having temptation to smoke, and if you're going to hang out with your smoking friends, then definitely you want to smoke, right? So you should choose your environment wisely. Means you should not, if you're alcoholic and if you have a temptation to drink alcohol, but you don't want to get that temptation, you shouldn't be going to club, right? So we need to choose our place wisely. We need to think, where am I safe or am I not? You know, if I'm having trouble with some alcohol temptation, I won't be going and hanging out, because if I go, I want to drink. So we should be thinking like that way, you know. So it can be meat eating as well, definitely for us in starting Krishna conscious. When we hang out with a friend like who says let's go restaurant, we will have that temptation to eat meat. It's gonna happen. So let's say let's go to a vegetarian restaurant. You can say that, you know. So it can help. And 4 is test, you know. 4 means test, means we need to develop a higher test. When you have a higher test, you will conquer the lower test. When I used to eat meat, I used to think that's the only like best test ever I felt, you know. I don't like the vegetables, I don't like anything, because I've never ate anything else. I don't know anything else rather than that. I used to think that's the higher test because I've never tested higher than that. But once I came to Krishna conscious, I knew there's a higher test, which is Krishna name, Katha, Krishna Katha, and Krishna's Prasad. It's a higher test, right? So when you have really that higher test, then it will, like, you know, conquer the lower test. That's what happened to us, because we all belong to the same category. We were into lower test because we used to think that's higher, because we never knew there's higher test than that. So we need to develop higher test. I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture, and he was saying any society which is free from rules and regulation, this is animal society. So definitely there will be rules and regulation, right? So we should be following rules and regulation. It's like, if there is, Prabhupada was saying, if there is a traffic light, it's for human. If there is any animal crossing, they doesn't know, it's not for them. They doesn't know the rules. The rules is for us. So people say, I don't want to follow the sastric rules, but they are following each and every rules in the material world, right? If you go to college, there is rules. You need to wear uniform, you need to submit your assignment in this date, and you're following everything. We are following everything outside. But when it comes to Shastra, we have some 4 regulative principles in SCON, and we were like, I can't follow these principles. But we are following every principle outside, you know. So we are just different setting, like Shastra is, oh my god, vast. But it's not that, you know. It's like it's just in our mind, we are thinking on that way, like, you know. But actually we are serving everyone in outside, you know. But we are not serving the Lord. The thing is that. So we should like develop love for Krishna to overcome our lust. And I just want to end what Krishna is saying in the end of this chapter, and then I want to end the session. Can we go to the last 43? What Krishna is concluding this chapter by saying is, thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mightily armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna conscious, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So he's talking about spiritual knowledge. Again, he's talking about Shastra. You know, he's talking about Krishna conscious. So we are in a right place to conquer our lust. So what can we develop is reading Shastra, reading Krishna book, reading Bhagavad Gita, and by chanting, by listening, by hearing Katha, definitely our heart will be cleansed. We can overcome our lust. That's what Krishna is talking. He is saying that it's the biggest enemy. Lust is the biggest enemy. He's also giving the solution. By being in Krishna conscious, by following the principles, then we can overcome our lust. I want to conclude class by saying this. Thank you. Anybody has any related questions? Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I just have one question. How do I make my conviction more stronger than my temptation? I mean, oftentimes what happens is my temptations are more stronger than my convictions. For example, I like watching movies, but I know that I should reduce watching movies. I should enjoy Krishna Katha or pastimes of Krishna more. but I end up watching movies more than watching Krishna's pastimes or exhibiting lectures.
Okay, so like, how should we be convinced? You are saying, right? So, as I was listening to Maharaj's lecture, and he was just mentioning, just have a bigger goal. Like yeah, there's a temptation. We do want to watch TV at the same time, right? But I think we can switch it to like some interesting, like Mahabharat we can see. I think we can see Mahabharat or some animated Krishna movies like that. Like if we really have that temptation to watch movies, I also do have, then I start watching like Little Krishna and that kind of sorts. And once you have really bigger goal, you feel like once you have bigger goal, like you feel like I have so much to do, I need to do, like I haven't completed my reading, I haven't completed like my sadhanas, like once you have a bigger goal, like bigger goal means like thinking about Prabhupada. I think the only one thing like which makes me like to do my sadhana is Prabhupada. Looking at his difficulty, whatever he has done, like whenever I feel like that, I read about him, I listen to his Leela Amrit by His Grace Among Leela Prabhu. It's in YouTube, 24 episode. It's very, very inspiring. It's very interesting. You can watch that. It's very fun. More funny than a movie. More funny than a movie, I find that Leela Amrit, and more funny and more heart-touching at the same time. So I feel like when I was reading Prabhupada Leela Amrit, I was feeling like, when I was reading, I was feeling it's kind of movie. You also have a fun, you also have emotion, you also have so many tragedy, and then there is so many suspenses. Like, I feel like, yeah, we can like think bigger goal by getting inspired by Prabhupada, how much he has done, and what am I doing? I'm just spending my time in a random thing. Instead of this, I could do some service, or I could read or hear something about Prabhupada, or we can just watch videos about Prabhupada disciples. It's also very interesting. Yeah, that's what I can say, Prabhu.
Can I add?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
I mean, like,
yeah, sure.
I want to share my experience. So, like you said, you might do more, knowledge. You might have more knowledge than me, but in my experience, to a similar case, so I used to be a great hip hop lover, like a few months back. Like 70% of the time, I used to listen to hip hop music and rap and everything. But after I started reading Gita, I also started to like question myself. Questions like, where is this taking me? So most of the rap I used to listen, I started to question that, how is that relating to me? So, and then I came to find out that it's bringing more delusions in my mind, because I don't have anything similar going on with, like, they talk about cars, they talk about, this and that, showing money and everything, but I started to like differentiate that, and because I'm not throwing money, I'm a student, right? So I don't have like 50 cars at my home and everything, so I realized that I'm creating delusions in my mind and saying that again, going to the concerts and again saying the same thing. So I think it might be similar with the movies. Some movies might be, informative, but some of them might only be bringing delusions in our mind. So I think that's how we can, stop the desire for certain things, in my experience.
Wow, such a great realization. Yeah.
Alright. So I am a musician as well, right? So I do listen to a lot of songs.
Sorry for disturbing. Only went to Vrindavan, so she asked me to distribute in the youth group.
Wow.
She asked me to distribute this Krishna.
We can distribute in there. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And yes, I do listen to a lot of songs, including all genres. So how I listen to songs is a bit different, right? I try to see the good artists and bad artists. I try to see the techniques used, right? So in theory, even if it's a rap song, if you go word by word, it's different. But if you get the principle, what techniques he used, how did he express himself? Because some rap songs are very, very expressive, so they're very good. So rather than going word by word, we discussed this yesterday. If you take the principles on how they actually, pour their heart out, but you just have to understand good artists and bad artists. And the other thing is that's what I do in other songs as well, other genres, jazz, blues. I listen to all the genres, but I know who are the good artists and who are the bad artists. So when I listen, I think that maybe if I can listen to these techniques, maybe if I can go to deeper emotions that they're trying to, trying to express, then maybe one day when I make a song for Krishna, I could use all of those techniques and then I can make a better music. That's how I see
listening
it.
for the better or worse.
Yeah, that's how I see it. So you can probably see it that way. Then you start to listen good songs.
I'm trying to do the same.
I have a question
Yeah.
on the Brahman story.
Yeah.
He has all the Shastric knowledge, still falls under the last. So like how do we overcome from this? Let's see, we reach the position of last. From there, how to escape and how to overcome.
Like we fall down and how do we
Get out of this.
Okay. So what Krishna is, Krishna, that was the, can you turn to the page of, I'll just tell you what Krishna is talking. 3.43, and can you read that? Can you read in loud? Translation, yeah.
And thus knowing oneself to be the transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty Anand Arjun. One should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
So
He's saying like to think of Krishna consciousness by
by delivering the spiritual knowledge. He's saying by spiritual knowledge you can conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. As you know, like he had a fall down, but he was a devotee, right?
Yeah.
And look at Krishna, he came to save him at the end. Like he had every such knowledge, even though he fall down. We can see how great is Supreme Lord, even he fall down, but he came to save. His Krishna consciousness went on when? If he was not Krishna conscious, like Krishna wouldn't be giving his son named Narayan, Everything happens because of Krishna. He gave his son named Narayan. It's all because of him, So his mercy was that he said Narayan at the end of his death. Krishna let him say Narayan. So it's mercy of Krishna. Even if we have fall down, once we come into Krishna conscious, Krishna will pick you. Trust me, he will pick you. We have fall downs many times, but he will. When you have a fall down, you will try everything. Everything won't get satisfied, and you will come back to Krishna conscious again. So even though we fall down, Krishna will be there. Once we are in Krishna conscious, it won't go in vain. Krishna has said in that one verse, but I don't remember, he said, once we do even little service for Krishna, once we are in Krishna conscious, then that's not waste. It won't be waste. You will be saved by Krishna. Somehow or other, he will make you remind of him while you are dying or something. After you fall down, he will remind you of him by coming as people, devotee, person at your work. Somehow or other, he will remind you, and he will not. If you even have a fall down, he will come and pick you. We have been through that. We have seen our friends also hearing their stories sometimes, how they were having fall down and how Krishna picked them and he brought them back to Krishna conscious. So you should be having faith, and you should always be praying to Radharani that may I never fall down from bhakti. Like Prabhupada used to always pray for Radharani that may I never fall down. Prabhupada, he used to pray for Radharani, may I never fall down. So we should also pray for Radharani. They will never let us fall. Even we fall, they will come and pick us. Once Krishna has touched our hand, definitely he will not leave. And Gopinath, like he won't leave us. So the thing is spiritual knowledge. The more you acquire knowledge, Krishna is saying, being in Krishna conscious, hearing Krishna Katha will cleanse us, our heart, and it won't make us fall. Is that answer? Yeah?
Yeah, you said that last, when it's fulfilled leads to no, when it's not fulfilled leads to anger.
Greed.
When it's fulfilled leads to greed. Anger leads to illusion, so greed also leads to illusion, right?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Like it was if lust is fulfilled, it comes greed, right? If it's not fulfilled, then anger.
And anger leads to illusion.
Illusion, yeah.
And greed also leads to illusion.
Greed also lead to anger.
Greed also lead to anger.
Yeah. So it's like,
I will ask.
yeah.
So when lust comes, there is two ways. Either it gets fulfilled, or it gets unfulfilled.
Yeah.
When it gets fulfilled, we get greed to get more and more. So we want more. It comes more. When it gets fulfilled, we get more loss.
So greed.
So we get more loss. We want more, and at one point it doesn't get fulfilled.
And then
it connects to the unfulfilled, and then comes and
come on. That's it. Yeah, it's a
That's it. Yes.
So much for the lecture. And I'm just wondering, like, it is easy to get trapped from the lost in this Kali Yuga, which is
it easy?
Yeah.
Is it easy?
Yeah.
Like it's the biggest enemy, Krishna is saying. It's very hard if we take it as it is, but if you stick to Krishna conscious, if you stick to following 4 regulative principles, Krishna conscious, reading scripture, being with the devotee, then we won't be in trap of, definitely there is lust. We have lust, but gradually if you associate with devotees and hearing Krishna Katha will cleanse. In Srimad Bhagavatam, so many pages it has written that hearing to Krishna Katha, hearing to Srimad Bhagavatam, any Krishna Katha will definitely cleanse our heart and our lust. Our lust will get freed. So the only way to we have fear of that lust might make us lead us to fall down, right? So the only way to hear as much as Hari Katha. I think that's what I will say. And never leave devotees and never leave ISKCON. That's the safe side. Yes.
So you told that Krishna is the only object of love, and the rest of every religion because we expect something. But if we love people or even animals or pets or something in connection with Krishna, and would that be the same or would that still be lust?
No, once we have love for Krishna, then we have love for every living entity. It's when we don't have love for Krishna, then only it's lust. Then only it's lust. But once we develop a love and connection with Krishna, then we have love for each and every entity. You know, we can see how merciful is our so many great devotees. Like they have love for every living entities. We might not have love for every living entities because we are not in that stage. But so many great personality. Maharaj, we can see His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj. We can see him. He's always talking to some tortoise and chanting the Krishna name. Like we can see devotees going in front of dog chanting the holy name. So once there is love for Krishna, it's not lust, it's love. But when there is no Krishna, there's only temptation, and that's lust. We only want to enjoy. So that's how. If you love dog, that means you are a great devotee. You have love for everyone. I wish I could develop that love. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
We all said Hare Krishna under our dearest.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you.
Thank you.